It's absolutely incredible what a difference 24 hours can make. Yesterday, yesterday all the news I had was gloomy. Um, Today it's actually good. And so I want to dive right into it and hopefully make this a short video. Share the screen here so you can see. Um, so I woke last night, everything I was hearing is commercial jets flying over. And then earlier this morning, I heard the A380. And by the way, just so you know, Cujo's here with me. That's why. I heard the A380 passing overhead, and so I was like, Cujo, we're gonna go for a walk. And so we went for a walk. And this they put the plane. This is a plane from London Heathrow to Dubai, and they put it in a very weird holding pattern, flying directly above my head at 17,000 feet. And so let's see if I can move to the next picture. Um, so yeah, went too far. So I went right outside of where I live, and so you can barely see the plane there, but I was able to get a better close-up of it. Um, the A380, for the record, is the largest commercial airliner out there. It is, yeah, it's huge. Four engines, all the things you've ever seen that has Jennifer Aniston doing the ads. That's the Emirates A380. It has a bar at the back of the plane. It has a shower in it. It's an incredible plane. Anyhow, this one from London, they put in a holding pattern above where I live, and the good news I can tell you is that it has landed in Dubai. I'm not quite understanding the holding pattern they put them in, but they knew what they're doing, and so it's all good. Um, Continuing on with good news, we may be dealing with a situation of Trump doing what has come to be known as the taco. Trump always chickens out, in that there are several things yesterday. He spoke to a group of Republicans and he said it's going to be finished quickly. It's going to be a short-term excursion. It's going to be finished quickly. I don't try to do a Trump impression. You're not going to get that. Um, he also said, no other president can do the kind of shit that I'm doing. Well, you're right about that, President Trump. No other president could do the things you do. I'll grant you that. Um, and then I want to make this bigger so you have a chance to, nope, not that big. Um, Okay, sorry. I'm gonna do a Trump impression. You can judge how bad it is. If Iran does nothing, if Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Additionally, we will take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be built back as a nation again. Death, fire, and fury will rain upon them. But I hope and pray that it does not happen. This is a gift from the United States of America to China and all of these nations that heavily use the Hormuz Strait. Hopefully, it is a gesture that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for the attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So let's unpack this. Um, yesterday, yesterday the president saw that the price of oil had spiked up to well over $100 a barrel. And at over $100 a barrel, everything goes bad. And he was even considering at one point whether or not to open up the strategic oil reserve, which I actually think is a good idea. I don't know why they haven't done that. The strategic oil reserve exists for exactly this reason. But because Obama did it, whatever, it's probably why they're not doing it. I don't know. Trump has this thing that if Obama did it, he can't do it. So, yeah. Oh well. Um, but it's very, very clear to everyone watching this now that Trump's going to taco this. He's chickening out. It's already done. Immediately after it was clear he was going to do this, he had a press conference where he all but said waved the white flag himself. So yesterday I did the thing about the unconditional surrender is what he's asking for. Well, he pretty much gave the unconditional surrender to Iran. So congratulations, the son of the Ayatollah who now has won this. Um, because the stock market went from down quite a bit to up immediately when it was clear that that's what's going to happen. And then oil settled at $86 a barrel, so still up. You're not going to have cheap gasoline anytime soon, but yeah. Uh, yeah. I'm not going to take it any farther than that. I just this is good news. When somebody is marching in the wrong direction, stopping, stopping making a march in the wrong direction is taking a step in the right direction. So, thank you, President Trump. I wanted today's video to be about Tim Cook and Apple. Yesterday, the CBS Sunday Morning Show, which for the record, I love that. I watch their videos. Jane Pauley, who um, I will fully admit I had a huge crush on when I was a child. I wanted her. I had a crush on her, but not sexually. I fell in love with Jane Pauley. So she's the main host of it. Um, I would watch Jane Pauley do anything. I just think she's truly wonderful. Um, Anyhow, they did several stories about Apple yesterday, and so I plan today to make something where I'm just like doing the epic takedown of Apple because I'm my anger towards Tim Cook, it is visceral. It is I if Tim Cook were standing in front of me right now, I would want to spit on him more than I would want to shake his hand. And because this comes after years of me teaching supply chain and telling my students what an incredible, awesome CEO he is, that he deserves every dime he's paid plus more. And that when Apple says that security and privacy are their number one goal is security and privacy. He is saying that as a guy who grew up in rural Alabama as a gay man in the 1960s. So he literally could have been beaten to a pulp had he come out in the 1960s growing up in rural Alabama. And so when he says privacy and security are a core attribute of Apple, he's not saying that as some marketing tool. He's not. He's saying that as a man who remembers being scared as a child, and he's talked about it widely. That he has in the past year and a half decided to suck Cheeto dick. I don't know what to say about it. So, but rather than do more on that takedown that I was going to do, I'm going to put a link. He did an interview with Kara Swisher where it was him, Johnny Ive, when Steve Jobs was about to die, and he knew his days were numbered on this planet. The only question at Apple was, will Tim Cook replace Steve Jobs or will Johnny Ive? Johnny Ive was Steve's the design guy. He's from Britain. He's a design guy. Him and Steve operated on the same level of thought when it came to design on everything, whatever. But Steve decided that what was more important for the long-term health of Apple was having the supply chain guy take over and run the company. And, you know, anybody who bought Apple stock when Steve Jobs died, you've been very well rewarded because Tim Cook has done a phenomenal job to the stock price of Apple. You've done very well. Um, on the flip side, and Johnny, by the way, left, and he's now in some weird partnership with OpenAI. Can't figure that one out. Not even gonna try. Let that go, Steve. Let that go. Um, but Tim Cook has put a stain on his legacy. Had he just retired a year and a half ago, he would have gone down in the pantheon of best CEOs to have ever held the job of CEO. You know, uh, now he's technically number two in terms of value creation. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA is number one. He's now number two. But I mean, that's a phenomenal thing that he could go down in. But he's not going to go down in that because there are people like me right now that I I'm like rethinking my desire to own Apple products at all because I just don't want to give Apple money if they're going to fund, if they're going to have, let me just, I swear to God, I'm done in 30 seconds. On the same day that Alex Peretti, the Veterans Administration nurse, was executed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the same day that he is holding pretty much exactly the same iPhone that I'm holding right here. Tim Cook chose to go to the Melania premiere. He could have waved off. It was Melania wasn't produced by Apple Studios. He didn't have to go to he didn't have to go to it to begin with. But after that happened, he could have easily waved off and said, "Look, we've got a crisis with one of the customers of our product. I need to go check in on what's happening, whatever." He could have easily waved off. He didn't. And I can never forgive him for that. So, anyhow, overall, it's been a really good 24 hours. And I just cannot express how awesome it was. Uh, I I know that you all know my aviation geek. I don't have to worry about my credentials being questioned there. I know you all know about it. But when I heard, and I was like, I was able to tell Cujo, we're going for a walk because I know there's an A380 above us right now. And so, yeah, so planes are landing again. They're taking weird routes to get here. And again, very weird holding pattern above us, but it's all good. So not sure what tomorrow is going to be about because I had no idea the past 24 hours are going to bring us what the past 24 hours brought us. See you tomorrow.